We all think we're all on our own island. We have our own unique solutions for our own things. We want to learn it the hard way.
I've heard this from vendors. They feel like it's great because they see the decision makers here.
So maybe we need to have a decision maker conference and lock them all in a room.
There you go.
There we go.
I like that.
You take Facebook and broke it down and made it just for our industry. That's essentially the community that we're building right now. It's kind of like a social media home where everybody can collaborate and come together, have different groups based on content type.
One thing that just came out with Airbnb, that if you collect an email address from a guest, you're not allowed to use that email for marketing purposes.
I have no idea how that's legally possible. I'd love to see that go to court. We are live here at VRNation. Super exciting. We are in Austin, Texas at the JW Marriott. We have these very official mics this time, so
We're actual reporters.
real reporters. Yeah. Have you ever been to Austin before?
I have not.
Yeah, I haven't either. This is all of it's new to me.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
a fun town. It's got a fun vibe, kind of like Nashville.
Yeah.
But a little more southern, I think.
Yeah.
Texas, everything's bigger.
A little more
Texas.
urbanish city kind of feel
Yeah.
to it so far, but
Yeah.
a lot of people here. There's about 400 attendees, I believe, at the conference, so good turnout. Jason Gann and Julie George are on stage right now, so we're missing them, unfortunately, but I've heard they were just spectacular this morning.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, we know Julie, and she's got so much energy, and then Jason.
Yeah.
We're big fans of his. So
yeah.
Can't be missed. So we'll be reporting for the next couple of days here live
Yeah.
at the venue. And
Yeah.
Just can't wait to share the stories of all the attendees and everything that's happening here in Austin.
Absolutely. And if you're here, come stop by for an interview.
Question for you guys. In one word, what is your biggest problem in vacation rentals?
Oh, attention.
Regulations.
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 Regulation.
Complexity.
Operations.
Trust.
Trust.
Not what I thought you were going to say.
We would clearly would have said.
Safety, but
Trust goes into safety, but we're not assuming the trust
Yeah.
that the guests have put into us.
true. Very true. What, in one word, is your biggest problem in vacation rentals?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Counting.
Accounting.
Fragmentation.
Fragmentation.
Coordination. We all think we're all on our own island.
Yeah.
We have our own unique solutions for our own things. We want to learn it the hard way. We're going to figure it out ourselves. And we're going to do it our way. We're not even going to talk to our competitors. We're so worried about our competitors that we don't talk about what's best for this industry.
One word answer. What is a big problem in vacation rentals?
Transparency.
It's transparency.
Inconsistency.
Consistency.
Investor clarity.
2 words. Okay. Fee stuffing. It's hyphenated. Can that be one word? We can hyphenate it and make it one word. How about that? For you, we'll make it one word.
Expectations.
Efficiency. Margin.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a really good one. Okay.
Connection.
Cancellations.
What is a big problem in vacation rentals?
Consolidation.
Nervous. Nervous. Okay, so nervous is the word.
Oh, well, staffing.
It's talent.
Perception.
Non-standardization.
We are an industry full of customizations, as
Yeah.
we should be.
Yeah.
Customization is the beautiful part of our
Yeah.
industry. If you are a painter and you're going to paint a beautiful masterpiece and you want to paint that, you have to start with a blank canvas. And we are really bad at supplying the blank
Yeah.
canvas in our industry. If we have more of that blank canvas, we can have more beautiful masterpieces to paint.
What's the opposite of lack of communication?
Silence. Silence. Okay. Silence. Okay.
I love that. That's so
Totally different answer. I like that. Okay, there you go. What's a big problem in vacation rentals? One word.
Identity. What are we? Are we vacation rentals? Are we short-term rentals?
Are we Airbnbs?
The word Airbnb.
What's a big problem in vacation rentals? One word.
Homeowners.
Finally somebody said that.
Welcome back. We've got the one and only Heidi Henrikson, who is the executive director of VRNation, this fabulous conference that we're at. How are you?
I'm awesome. Happy to be here and doing great.
So, are you exhausted yet?
That was a cover-up, so yeah.
It's okay. We believe in true transparency and honesty on the show. So,
Yeah, and-
be your authentic self.
We believe in transparency at VRNation too. So yes, I am very tired, but I'm very happy. I feel like it's been a success.
So, one of the things that I've been talking with other people about is VRNation has always been kind of out west. It's been in the Northwest. That was where the association kind of grew and came up. And so now, well, when it was Northwest VRP. And so it's moving and branching out. And so you've moved kind of more to the center of the country. How is it going in terms of getting your message out and resonating and growing the association within, I guess expanding into other areas of the U.S.?
We're definitely seeing our membership grow. We're seeing our board of directors expand across the country. From this conference, just being in Austin, I think the exposure has been fantastic. And everyone's come to me and said, You guys are buzzing. I hear about VRNation everywhere, so your marketing team gets a little pat on the back.
Good job.
So
That's
we've been working hard at it.
Yeah. Now, I do have a question. Last year at the first VRNation conference, we're not able to go to that one. We went to NWVRP the year before. But last year you did an announcement about the kind of like an OTA or a portal website that was going to be for all managers. And I heard that that's kind of not as much of a push, but could you tell us maybe a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think we kind of shifted away from being another OTA, but still creating and offering that option to get more direct bookings. So we do have that through our website and for our membership as a benefit. But yeah, we really wanted to focus more on being an association, supporting the industry, finding the gaps, and trying to help fill them. So that's where we shifted our focus just slightly. But so far it's been ultra positive, well received. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think the one thing is I think all the several associations within the industry are trying to find their footing. I mean, it's just been crazy since COVID. There's a lot been going on. There's a need to educate people. There is a lot of fragmentation in our industry. There's been a tremendous amount of growth in kind of the smaller operator. How do you guys see your place in that, tapping into that smaller operator and the newbies that have entered the industry and trying to educate them?
Absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of fragmentation for sure. And VRNation has expanded our membership to not just vacation rental managers or property managers. We also work with individual hosts and welcome them into our membership. We support them with education, different initiatives. We even have an advisory board entirely devoted to helping those types of hosts excel and grow and know that they have an association they can come to for support. And I think that's probably one of our biggest differentiators, actually, is 20+% of the content we focus on, both here at the conference and throughout the organization, is devoted to those individual hosts, making sure that they're supported. So.
Is there any sort of an online community part that goes with this, or?
Good question. Yeah, it's coming. It's been in the works. It's been something we've been talking about with our members for a while, and in just a couple of months, it's kind of like a social media home where everybody can collaborate and come together, have different groups based on content type. If you take Facebook and broke it down and made it just for our industry, that's essentially the community that we're building right now.
Yeah, I think that's what people want. You know, they want a place where they can ask questions, and sometimes just being on LinkedIn and posting for the whole world to see isn't really the forum for it. So that's a good way to do it. What do you think for the future? I mean, this was a great success here, but what's the plan for 2026? Any idea?
We are definitely planning for the future. So next year we'll be in Denver. And then we're already isolating where we're looking at 2027 and beyond. We've also been putting on local roadshows that have been hugely successful.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
We started those quarterly this year just to kind of test the market, see if this was a good idea, and overwhelmingly positive response. So I think next year we'll probably see one per month potentially instead of go quarterly. So lots to come.
Was there one in your area?
There was one in Florida.
That's coming next week on May 6th.
It's coming. I was saying it's in Florida, but it's not. I don't think it's in your area. Is it in?
It's in Sarasota.
Sarasota, South Florida. Okay. Because I think that's why I didn't participate, because it wasn't close to me where I could get to it.
The best part was when I told our board of directors it was in Sarasota, they all decided, well, I'm coming because I want to go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. So it's easy to get people to come.
They're looking forward to it.
It's amazing what you do. What a nice destination, can get people motivated, right? Yeah.
Baby powder sand, I'll be there.
Right.
Well, we asked everybody one question. We said, what is the biggest problem in vacation rentals? And answer it in one word, but we didn't get to ask you. So curious what you would say.
I was really thinking about this one, and the only word that kept coming to mind was wild.
Because that's a great one.
Yeah, that's completely awesome.
So many call us the Wild West.
Yes. Right. Yeah, just condense.
We are. We're trying to professionalize. We're trying to find more standards. But we're still pretty wild and young and growing up.
So I want to keep a little bit of the wild factor. I think that's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it fun.
We need to get our game together. But
absolutely.
Well, what you guys are doing is amazing. I think it's a great turnout. Alex and I have been fans of this association since they were Northwest VRP. It's just a wholly different vibe than some of the other ones, and it feels like family when you talk to the people, and it's just a good group. And so I think that you guys have a lot of runway to grow, and we're excited to be a part of that and help cheer you on.
We're excited you guys are here. Thanks for coming. Well, we always love having the pink table at our conference, and everybody loves you guys. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Heidi. We'll be back in just a minute, but first, a message from our premier brand sponsor, Beyond.
My name is Amber Donovan. I work for Carolina One Vacation Rentals, and we have been using Beyond since January of 2022. Before using Beyond pricing, we had stagnant rates. Our seasons were extremely long. We had to manually keep track of reporting. When we finally decided to really take a look at dynamic pricing, the pricing just seemed outrageous compared to what we were charging, and we had to step up our game. We specifically use Beyond for dynamic pricing, so your rate will fluctuate daily, sort of like airlines, and that brings in the most revenue, but they also take into account search demand. Beyond makes my life a lot easier just in the fact that everything is in one place. I have the majority of the reports I need in a very concise format. I can compare everything I need in a much quicker time frame. If you're not using Beyond already, you're leaving money on the table because there's just so many features that it has that you just don't even think about on a daily basis. I'm going to recommend Beyond simply for the fact that it gives you real-time data that you need to instill trust in your owners and your property managers and your staff. There are other pricing systems out there, of course, but the support we get from Beyond's representatives is just undeniable. So far, we've had an increase of about 20% in our revenue, which is huge. It's invaluable to us. We turned off Beyond tomorrow, I would probably quit.
Ready to maximize your vacation rental revenue with smarter pricing? Beyond makes it easy with cutting-edge dynamic pricing and revenue management tools. Get started today with a $50 credit and free onboarding when you sign up at beyondpricing.info/Alex and Annie. Take control of your pricing strategy with Beyond today. We've got Orley Benjamin, who is the founder of Lasso. So good to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Orley, it's so great. You and I met a couple of months ago. You reached out to me to kind of get my feedback or talk to me about what you were doing, and I was really intrigued by what you're doing. And one, we always love women who are in tech, and women are doing advancement in the vacation rental industry. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, just tease a little bit, because you're going to be launching soon. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, I basically am an owner-operator that looked around and felt like the technology I wanted wasn't in the market, so I decided to build it. And Lasso is really a platform that helps vacation rental operators own their own book of business and drive revenue through the relationship of the guest and essentially a digital app experience that I've created for operators of vacation rentals.
Yeah, and so you're based in Ohio.
That's
right?
correct.
Which was really fascinating to me, because I thought when you came to me and you were building this product, I assumed you were going to be in some major destination, some traditional vacation rental market. So how long have you been in vacation rentals or in short-term rentals?
About 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really lovely state parks in an area called Hocking Hills. In fact, it was one of the...
Why do I know that? The name of that? Stacy St. John has a property there, I think.
In Hocking Hills?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stacy, if you're watching,
Are you in
tell me
Hocking
if
Hills?
I'm right. Yeah.
If you run the numbers on growth in vacation rentals, that's one of the highest growth areas in the country.
Hocking Hills
Yes.
or Ohio?
Hocking Hills specifically.
Okay,
Really?
interesting.
Yes.
Let me check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, okay, tell us a little bit more. How does it work? How does a property manager use your system?
So for the property manager, once they set up the interface, anyone who is a guest through their PMS gets an automatic invitation to the digital experience that's branded for their business.
Okay.
And so whether it's on Airbnb or it's coming in through a direct booking, it's essentially like an app, like a Marriott app for their business that enables them to know all the fundamental stuff around the stay, not just for the person that booked the property, but for the whole group. And by doing that, the whole group gets to have less friction around communication. It all happened when my sister-in-law planned a trip.
Yeah.
That's when the idea happened, and it was so poorly planned.
Only
Don't-
one person knows any of the check
Nobody knew
details.
what to do.
Exactly. And so I was like, there's got to be a better way to manage the communication across the group.
Yeah.
And coming from a background in e-commerce at Victoria's Secret and coming from a background in experience strategy at NetJets, which are really best in class on a global level for both of those things, I really thought to myself, how could I set up this industry and myself really, because I was trying to solve my own problem. How can I set it up that the guests have this great experience that drives extra revenue through upsells and through add-ons that also enables the operator of the property to get the guest information for everyone, not just the person who books it.
Right.
And I know StayFi does this at the point of arrival, but
Not prior to.
mine does it prior. And the guest experience from booking to arrival is the opportunity to sell things and plan things and drive upsells.
So now one thing that just came out with Airbnb, their new off-platform rules that you are not allowed, if you collect an email address from a guest, you're not allowed to use that email for marketing purposes. So what do you do in that case?
I have no idea how that's legally possible. I'd love to see that go to court. I believe it's a restriction of trade.
I agree with that.
Airbnb is essentially leveraging the infrastructure of operators as their inventory as if they own it. And I just can't imagine that that's allowed. So I'd love it. They have arbitration agreements. That they, to my knowledge, because I had lawyers look into this, to my knowledge, nothing is ever public. I believe this is going to be actually something that goes through the courts at some point. If you look at all the other OTAs, they don't create that restriction. Airbnb is the only one. So I can't wait to see how it legally shakes out.
I wonder because to me it's like saying, you know, here's a consumer that's standing right in front of you, but you're not allowed to talk to them.
It's like Target saying, hey, I'm going to sell your hair product, but if somehow I can link that they went to your website, we're going to cut you out. That's crazy. You can't do that.
Yeah, because without the inventory, you don't have the platform. I mean, there's no reason. So yes, I think that's going to be an interesting thing, but I think what you're doing is helping the managers, like you said, they're going to own their data, they're going to own that communication. So you're here at VRNation, meeting with people, walking around, getting ideas. Are you looking to meet with property managers here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, great. And so is this your first VRNation or your first?
It is.
Yeah.
It's my first time at VRNation. I've attended some other conferences, but not this one yet.
Yeah. And so what do you think so far?
I actually love the vibe. Everyone... that's what I love about this industry, hospitality. Everyone is so kind. It's just like the service heart is natural here. So from my perspective, everyone's been so friendly and kind, and I've had a lot of really great conversations with property owners. I love to hear people's complaints because with every pain point is an opportunity to create something new, and that's what I'm here to understand is where's everyone's pain so I can try to help solve it.
Yeah, we were just talking about, I was telling her about our interview with Boogie from Track and how he said that, you know, feedback is a gift.
Yes,
and her and I got to talking about it, and it's like, you know, the show is a perfect place to go and kind of like have those raw conversations about the good, bad, ugly. But for you, you know, you're still kind of in that learning stage. So this is really great, but excited for you to launch. Do you have a date when you're going to launch it you want to share with us, or are we still kind of...
End of May, absolutely, end of May.
Right?
Yeah, we're here.
That's just like right around the corner.
Well, this is exciting.
Yeah, we'll definitely, we want to have you come on the show and we'll do like a whole rundown on the system and hear how it's going. So we'll definitely check in with you later this year, but we'll be back.
Thank you.
We're here with Dylan Bozarth, who is the general manager of 30A Escapes. Dylan, so good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming back and giving us the opportunity to actually record audio with you this time.
That's right. We're trying to get it right this time.
So is this your first visit to VRNation?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think?
It's been great.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good content. Seems that the property manager's been very engaged.
Yeah. You were on a
Good
panel
conversation.
earlier today.
I was.
Yeah.
Yep. That was fun.
Tell us about that.
Talked about cancellation policies and a new software or insurance called Roam.
Yeah.
And cancellation insurance.
Okay.
It's cool. We'll look into that.
So the last time that we saw you in person, we were in Nashville for the Track conference, and during that whole time we were there, we came up with this great concept for a series called Chillin' with Dylan.
Yeah.
Where we'll come on site and we're gonna get to see behind the scenes of some of the operations and things. But one of the questions in the Chillin' with Dylan series was, how do you keep it cool when things get hot? Like when a guest is complaining, when an owner is complaining, what do you do to keep it chill?
I think just after a long time of having things come up that seem way worse than they are, and then you get through it and you succeed or move on. We've gotten through everything to this date.
Yeah.
So just a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just chilling with Dylan is a mindset.
It's the mindset. Yeah. To keep it chill.
Yeah.
Not always. But we try our best.
If you had to say what is the biggest problem in vacation rentals, but you could only use one word, what would that be?
I think a popular one would be advocacy.
Okay.
It's probably
that's a good one. And you're in the Panhandle and you're in Florida, so you know that that's a big problem.
Yeah. It's kind of a new thing that I was talking to someone in 2015, 16, 17. Those were not fears that might arise in a year,
Yeah.
and that might affect you and revenue. And it's definitely starting to become
Yeah. I think everybody
more of a concern.
Yeah,
year over
you
year.
can't ignore it anymore. It's here, and
Right,
if it
and-
hasn't hit you yet, it will.
Right. And not that we wanted to ignore it. What we're trying to do is work with the local,
Yeah.
the community. We want to be good neighbors.
Yeah.
And we want to commingle, and we want to bring good guests to our beach. And hopefully we can eliminate a lot of the problems that way instead of having to have stringent rules.
I agree with that.
And fines and penalties. If, it's kind of wishful thinking maybe sometimes, but if everybody were good actors and did the right
The
thing,
world
then
would be a
it
great
wouldn't-
place,
Right,
right?
right, yeah. World
Everybody
peace.
would be chilling
We
with
just
Dylan.
figured it
Chilling
out.
with Dylan,
Yeah.
If the world would just come around to the mindset of chilling with Dylan, we'd be fine.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, as always, great to see you. Thanks
Yeah,
for stopping by.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we love having you on. All right.
Yeah. I hope
Thanks,
so.
Dylan.
Y'all enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks.
We've got two very important ladies right here. We've got Tara Lorimore, who is the founder of Luxury Getaways, board member for VRNation, and Heather Van Wee, founder of Cottages on the Key, also a board member for VRNation. Ladies, so good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Heather, this is your second conference, first conference as a board member.
Second conference officially.
Yeah.
I was elected in.
Elected in last April.
Yes.
2024.
At the first conference, at the
Yeah.
first VRNation
Well,
conference.
congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
you're in Florida, so you represent probably the furthest most expansion for the association, right?
Indeed.
Very exciting. So how has it been so far?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the conferences or the past
the
year?
association.
The
everything
association,
about it.
I'm
Yeah.
all about it. I'm 100% in support of it. I was so glad that they actually put me on the board because I was like, this is great. I can't wait to help them expand into this national level.
Yeah.
It's really going very well for
I
me.
love that. I love that.
And
I flew down to give her a thorough interview.
She did.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Someone
3
had to
days.
do it, right?
3 days of interviewing Heather.
Yes, yes.
It was rough.
Yeah. Was there any spa involved, I might ask? Beach
Unfortunately,
Beaches.
beach time.
Okay, well, that's
Yes.
good. This is good.
But we were hard at work.
Good.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what do you guys think about the conference so far? About attendance, how the vibe has been? Is it what you expected?
I think it's better than I expected.
Really?
I think the vibe is good. I think people are happy. There's a buzz. Everybody's in a good mood. Maybe a little tired this morning, but
Yeah.
the keynotes blew me away. I was thrilled with that. I think it's going good.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, we were at Northwest VRP in Reno. That was the first time we met everybody. And we've just been in love with you guys ever since. Like
Thank
the vibe
you.
in the association is just so welcoming and warm, and it's like family. So we're really excited to see you expand. So you were mentioning to me that that's one of the things that's happening. Not only is the association expanded, but you've expanded the board. So how many board members do you have now?
We're at 14.
14. That's a fairly large board.
It's a fairly large board.
Yeah.
We're debating going down a couple,
Yeah.
maybe in a year, going down to 11 or 12 or something.
Yeah, but it's
a little bit
indicative of
easier.
the growth
but-
that you anticipate, right?
Yeah. And we went from state representatives with NWVRP to, we had to eliminate states when we went nationwide. So
Yeah.
we're shifting and learning and
Like
figuring
more
out how to do
regionally
it.
based,
Yeah. We brought Heather in from the South, Kevin in from Denver, Dana's in California. And then we have 2 new board members that just came on officially yesterday.
Yeah?
And unfortunately, they already had other conferences they were going to. But Marianne, and Marianne from PMI.
Okay.
She's in, I think, Utah.
Okay.
And she's going to be at our roadshow in Sarasota
Nice.
next week.
Yeah.
And Heather and I will be there. And then Tony Staccato.
Oh, yeah, we know Tony.
Stancato.
Yeah, from
He's
Michigan.
at his own conference.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's in Michigan.
I love that it's not all large like enterprise operators.
Right.
I mean, because Tony is he's not a newbie, but he's relatively new in the terms of like the industry, but he's just made a name for himself, and he's done a really good job growing and been very methodical. And so that's where I think the growth opportunity is in those smaller operators. And we were talking to Heidi about that earlier, about like how do we bring them into the fold, and so that's a really great move to bring someone like him on.
And we need someone from the Northeast. Just hint.
I was actually just going to ask that because I feel like the Northeast kind of gets neglected a little bit in some of these conversations, and maybe I don't think that's anybody's
purpose,
neglecting them, but I think they're not as willing to come down and travel and go to these events. But Alexis Miller's here; she's fabulous.
Introduce us, please.
Yeah, I will.
Please.
I just saw it. But no, she's great. But there's a lot of operators up there, and their situation is so different that they are June, July, and August.
Yeah, they're
and
so
that's it.
seasonal.
So
Yeah.
the timing of everything is important with that too.
Yeah.
But
Yes, true.
it's great to see you guys expanding and growing, and I think there needs to be more options for people to get together and share these collaborative ideas.
Absolutely. I think that was one of the reasons why we started the road shows also. Not everybody can go to this conference, and not everybody can make it to Texas in April. And we want smaller operators to come, RBOs to come. Even if you can come for a day, come to a road show.
Yes.
We picked 4 different regions this year, 1 per quarter. Next year, we're doubling the number of road shows. So if you can't make it to the conference, we get it.
Yeah.
But try and make it to a road show if you can.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a full day packed of education.
Yeah. So we've got to ask you the question that we have asked everybody so far that has walked by, has become a victim. The vacation rental world, what is the biggest problem in one word?
Hospitality.
Saturation.
The lack of it, I assume you mean? Yes.
Okay.
It's a dying art.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Tara, what's yours?
I think it's saturation.
Saturation.
I think in some of the cities there's too many units. In COVID, everybody came on and thought that they could be their own Airbnb host.
Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe it's slimming down now. We're going to start slimming down. But I've got some properties in Phoenix, and I see a saturated market.
Phoenix is one of those really high growth markets. I think they saw like 100% increase year over year, like 2 years ago. But I did see this morning that Jamie Lane presented some data that said that that trend is slowing.
Yes,
it is.
It's not that we're losing inventory, but it's not growing at the same pace. So I think that that's definitely something that we all can agree has been a big impact. Yeah, plateaued, and I think it's good to see it slowing down. And I think now that everybody can kind of like take stock in what they have and like get their house in order and really start to get back to hospitality.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for stopping by, ladies.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Love your stuff. Love it.
We'll be back in just a minute after a word from our premier brand sponsor, Boom.
My name is Richard Marshall. The company that I own is called Knox Cape Town. We have approximately 200 villas, and all in the 4-star, 5-star, and ultra luxurious segment. Most of the solutions in the industry were focused on managing a property, but not managing a business. And the thing that really stood out to me about Boom was that it gave us the ability as business owners to zoom out and take a 30,000-foot view of the business and look at how are my staff performing. We had a huge problem with guest communications post-arrival. So the solution that Boom had in place with centralized communication was invaluable for us. It's enabled us to massively improve our client communications. When Boom informed me that their AI was up and running and ready for prime time, I was very skeptical, to be honest. Clients are very demanding clients. We deal in the premium end of the market. So I was nervous to give free rein to the AI. So we started with a very gradual approach towards AI, where initially everything was just done on a co-pilot basis, where to the point now where we've allowed it to handle our customer service inquiries on an autopilot basis. The feedback from property owners since we've moved across to Boom has been nothing but positive. Boom allows them to get the information that they need to feel comfortable that they know exactly what's happening in the property. So I'm a huge promoter of Boom, and I would certainly recommend it to all my friends and colleagues. I've personally seen from Boom is how it has really helped me to get my finger on the pulse of the business, see how my business is performing in detail. And I've seen what a big impact it's made, not only on our guest experience, but also on the staff experience. So I'd certainly recommend anyone taking a look.
Head over to boomnow.com to see a demo of this revolutionary software, and be sure to include that you heard about Boom on the Alex and Annie podcast. Our listeners receive 50% off onboarding fees, and the first month is free. Go to boomnow.com and see for yourself how AI is revolutionizing the future of property management systems. We've got two of the head honchos here. We've got Brian Olson, Matt Tisdale.
I thought you guys were the head honchos.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
we're just the slackies here.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you for having us again. You had us at Reno, and we had such a blast with you guys. We're looking forward to coming back. So thank you for having us. We appreciate it. This is the first official VRNation conference, right? Last year was a name change, but this is the actual official. We've interviewed a couple of your board members, and we interviewed Heidi, and we talked about the growth of the association and kind of where it's headed. So from your vantage point, looking at this conference, where do you think you guys are in that growth and that expansion phase?
I think we're on track. I think what we talked about and really wanted to do, we accomplished this year with the number of attendees, the quality of the sessions and those things. That was kind of our vision last year. I think we really hit that out of the ballpark actually this year.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I would agree with what Brian said. We worked as a board, and
and the advisory boards that we have too have put so much time into membership and conference and event planning. And I'm just really proud of what the team has done.
Yeah, and you were a hesitant president-elect from Brian's stamp. Well, he wanted you, you didn't want it, but aren't you glad you did it?
Yeah. Well, he's a hard guy to say no to.
Right? Yeah, I can't imagine saying no.
Know
but aren't you glad you did it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
good.
I'm very honored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt it was in good hands when I was done being president last year. I felt with president and vice president, with Matt and Tara, that we were on the right track and in good hands for it.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's right. And we've heard a lot about the road shows that you guys have coming up. Everybody's excited about those. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make them, but are you going to continue to do those next year as well?
Yes. So this year we did Portland. We're doing Sarasota, Florida here next week, May 6th. And then we have Breckenridge in September, and then October
Truckee.
Truckee,
Tahoe.
Yeah. So 4 this year.
Yeah.
Which was a big accomplishment or I think it's a good accomplishment. We want to do 8 next year.
It's lofty.
That is lofty. But really, the purpose of the road shows is to go out and meet the people.
Yeah.
Not only 10% of property managers come to an annual conference like this, or
for sure,
or whatever. But so this is the one where we can go out and meet people where they're at. A quick 3, 4, 5 hour event.
It's a great attitude to have, and I think sometimes the associations forget that not everybody can get to them.
Well, and I think the other thing that we can do with those is we can bring our frontline employees.
Yeah.
So in Portland, I brought my housekeeping department, I brought my head of housekeeping, my scheduling manager, and so they could come, which I've got one that doesn't fly, so she's not coming off.
Oh,
But she could go to Portland and find out and get certified by Dirk and do those things. And I think those road shows are really going to do that. The thing that I was amazed about is we had hoped for 50 and we had 90.
Oh, wow.
Show up for the road show.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was great.
Well, that proves that people are hungry for that information.
Yeah. And I think, just generally at conferences, it's really hard to get the people to visit all of the booths, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a conversation I've just been hearing with some of the vendors of how do we going forward with any of these conferences? How do we get more interaction because there are so many vendors here. I think with the road shows, it's nice because it's a smaller grouping that's going together, so that helps. Are there any other ideas or things you guys are thinking about for the future of how you get more people just have to go to all the booths?
I actually like that idea. We've tried different things, and we're doing a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's super unique, but I would welcome vendors to serve on the events committee and actually come alongside and say, and a lot of them are. So I'm not saying they don't.
Yeah.
Right.
They are doing this, and then let's figure that out because honestly, and if I was them, I would want everybody to come by the booth too.
Yeah. It's as a vendor. I speak on Alex and I both on the vendor side of things. It becomes harder and harder every year to decide where to go, and you want to support all of it, and it's difficult to do it. So I think by you guys adding the road shows in, it presents another layer of opportunity for the vendors as well.
I also think with this event, and I've heard this from vendors, they feel like it's great because they see the decision makers here.
Yes.
There's 4 of us here. We're all 4 decision makers.
Yeah.
It's not, I love bringing my housekeepers, but we all know that's a swag pickup.
Yeah.
They like something, but then they got to convince the decision makers. So I think the decision makers come specifically looking for that, like we did this year.
Yeah.
Specific things.
So maybe we need to have a decision maker conference and lock them all in a room.
There you go.
There we go.
I like that decision maker
Conference. Exactly. Yeah. Great.
Yep. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Appreciate it.
To continue participating
Yeah.
in the future and wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
We are here, the mustache team with SendSquared. We've got Nick and Roy and our trusty little stashes. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing great.
I know.
Yeah, I know it's a bit confusing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You can take
Roy's
yours
the
off.
only. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, you can't.
Cannot.
It might hurt a little.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want that. So you guys are here at VRNation. Is this your first one?
First, second.
Second one? Okay. And you are doing a lot of marketing with them and a lot of helping them out. And so you're seeing kind of firsthand everything that they're trying to do. And it seems like they're doing all the right things.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been helping with their email marketing along with their text marketing as well. So getting those out before all the different events here. So seems pretty well received.
Yeah. I know where I need to be.
Well, there we go.
That's helpful.
You know where you need to be, but
I know exactly where I need to be.
We can't help with getting you there. That's on you guys.
It just reminds me that I need to be somewhere.
I think it's helpful for like the parties and the after events, you know, because there's always so much like, where are you going to go? Where will you be? I don't know.
Right. There's too many choices.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, Nick, we had you on the show, let's see, maybe 6 to 8 months ago or so?
About a year.
Yeah, probably about a year, yeah.
Time flies. It's been really great. I get to work with SendSquared with you guys with one of my clients now, so I've gotten to see firsthand the product, and we've been really impressed and happy with it so far. But,
It's great here.
Yeah.
Always.
But really cool. I mean, you guys have built, as far as I know, the most comprehensive phone system solution for the full CRM with the texting, with the email, everything all under one hood. And it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You guys have a heck of a story.
Yeah.
We don't have to go back to the dark ages, but you guys have been doing this. This isn't
it's not a new venture.
Yeah.
Been in this industry for a long time.
Right. And we got started in 2018. So, and before that, Roy was at Track.
Yeah, spent 3 years there and helped build some product over there with those guys, and it was good time.
Yeah. So what's on the roadmap for this year? I mean, I know kind of what I've seen so far in the product, but is there anything new coming out?
There is. It's really cool. We're calling it Conversations, and it's a reinvent on the inbox. So everybody has a unified inbox, and so it's just bringing all of those contextual layers into one conversation. And I'll let Roy talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to hold it, but I don't even need to.
He's going to interview you.
I know, right? Just flipping the script here.
Exactly.
So we've envisioned sort of the inbox, and as Nick said, we're going with Conversations is what we're calling it. It allows you to have all channels of communication with both guests and owners in one streamlined view. You can actually see emails, SMS, voicemails, call recordings. You can click and have the call recording right in the view of reservation stream, call stream. It's an entire overview of everything that's happening with that guest across all channels right in front of your eyes.
Yeah. And it's in one timeline too. So you don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to worry about folders. So the same kind of visualization you would have with this like text message thread on your phone, similar in
Yeah.
context.
So when the guest says they didn't get communicated to, you have a clear shot of saying, no, we really did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything.
There's no digging. It's all right there.
That's super helpful. How long did it take you to come up with, or I guess put that together and make it, that's a lot of things to integrate, right?
I mean, it's the cumulative. It's the cumulative of it. And the only reason why we can do it is because we've been at it so long with building out the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
So anywhere from like the phone app to the phone calls you were regarding to email marketing, and seeing that too in the conversation. Oh, they just got that great offer. Now you know that's their last email that they got from you.
Yeah.
And really cool too how you can build up personas based on the guest, and that now you know how you want to communicate with them as the profile gets built out. Just really some neat stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm excited to see where this goes. I imagine that the people that you're talking to about this are, I'm assuming you have some beta testers using it, or is it out in market or
The Conversations? Yeah, that actually comes out this next month. So, you know, we were previewing it here during the show. So we made
It's
some.
very well received.
Yes, well, we made some initial announcements so some folks knew and came over. So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys. Good to
Thank
see you
you.
as always.
Thanks as always.
Thank you.
We've got Ann Gardner, who is the Executive Director of VRMA. Ann, so good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me visit with you both for a few minutes.
We couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk to you. You're here in another association's conference.
Absolutely.
Kind of getting a lay of the land, but also like goodwill. It's like we want these associations to partner and work together. And I think that you've been a big proponent of that and kind of the cross collaboration. And so what's your take on the conference?
This is really wonderful, and it's great to see, so many of our members here. It's great to be, hosted obviously by Matt and Heidi, and we hosted them in Phoenix, of course, in October. And so just to be able to discover where those synergies are and where we have opportunity to have impact, I think, and just really advance the industry.
Yeah, I think that's great.
We enjoyed the conversation that we had with the four of you on the show about a month or so
Yeah.
ago. And I think it's just a sign of the times that things are becoming more collaborative within the associations and understanding that people can't go to every conference every year, but sometimes the decision comes down to when it is, where it's located, and you want to make sure that people have every opportunity to go to as many as they can. And it's really awareness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we all have different strengths and we have different focus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So you are leaving this, and then you'll be head down, focused on exec conference coming up in May. We're super excited about that in Miami Beach.
Miami Beach.
Yeah. So tell us
right.
about that. What can we look forward to?
Well, we can also call it the first event that I will be participating in for the second time. So the first event for VRMA that I will be a second time participant of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw the executive summit when we were in Boca Raton last year, and we got, I think, a lot of great feedback and a lot of energy there. And we just said, what happens if we just reimagine it?
Yeah.
And so we brought to bear just every single resource that folks I've met along the way that have said anything we can do to help VRMA and our industry move forward. And we just asked everybody to come together and just say, this is an executives conference for executives, business owners, leaders. And we know that you know the areas that you need to focus on in your business. And so we really sort of turned that loose and said, let's just reimagine it all. And so it's super exciting to see the content that we have, the conversations, and to just really see the momentum that is happening right now with the events.
And it seems like it's like a think tank you've put together, right? Of managers, suppliers within the industry that have kind of come together to help with the content for that show. I mean, Shahar, Travis Wilburn, Rachel Alday, I'm forgetting this.
Yeah,
many
Judy
more.
Clark
Judy
Campbell, she's on there. Yeah.
Marianne Hedder's part of us with PMI.
Yeah, a lot of really good thought leaders, but all from different markets and different kind of pieces of the industry.
So what did you task them to do?
Yeah.
Well,
sneak peek.
well, I will tell you that that is a wonderful assemblage of talent, and I will say that our chairs, to Tom Goodwin and Rachel Alday, they were very insightful, I think, and very purposeful about bringing together a team that could really talk about the industry issues moving forward. And so when we sat everyone down, we just basically said, Tom, Rachel, take it and go.
Yeah.
It's, you know what you need in that. And so I think they have been really inspired, and they've really challenged one another, and they've been willing to surface conversations for this coming event in 2 weeks that maybe we're not part of conversations in the past. And so not to be provocative, but just to actually bring it in the room and let's problem solve and let's just move forward on solutions and help one another.
Are there any big things that are going to happen that are different in this changed environment that you can
Absolutely. I would say that we have sort of a duality, if you will, of its content. It's about leading forward, but it's also about being able to sharpen the saw, but also have that reflection, that rest, that beat of how do you renew and keep things going and really keep that energy, because you're leading teams, you're leading businesses and initiatives. And so how do you do that as well? So taking care of both, I think, is really going to be the focus that folks will see. So,
Well, and it's also going to be at the Ritz-Carlton on Miami Beach. So
hard to not feel taken care of there. Yeah.
It's very true. It's very true.
Big shoes to fill, because the last 2 years have been spectacular. The Boca Raton Hotel was beautiful. Eau de Palm was beautiful. I think the Ritz is going to be right up there. So if anybody hasn't booked your tickets yet, I would definitely recommend going over to do so. What's the best way for them to book?
Absolutely. To be on VRMA.org. And if you see our events and experiences, we have it right on the front screen, splash screen. We still have some seats left for it. And I will say that it is going to be a fun time.
Who's going to be the MC? Can you reveal that yet?
We are not revealing our MC yet, as a matter of fact. We have a bit of mystery there.
Okay.
But I will say that the program that everybody has lined up is still just really fast-paced and topical.
Yeah.
And I will say that our supplier members are certainly part of that. And so it's an integrated event. It's really fully immersive, and I think the experience is going to be something new for everybody.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, we'll be set up with the podcast there as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're excited. We did our first time. That was actually our first time doing anything live was at an exec conference. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Wonderful.
So this will be nice to come home again. Yeah, it'll be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you,
welcome.
Anna.
Yeah, thanks for spending a few minutes, and
Absolutely, our
thanks
pleasure.
for doing what you do.
Thank you.